Hey everybody, it's Devin.
And happy fall, it's Kate.
Welcome to spooky season.
Woo!
Oh, that was really good.
Thank you.
Wow.
I did not
Cusp.
I did not plan this. It was just my ghostly soul coming through.
Oh, I love
So that's just what I
Happy
do.
October, bitches.
Happy Spooktober. I love this time of year, man. I'm killing it over here.
It's our vibes over here.
The vibes are vibing, falls are falling, the leaves are leafing.
I went Halloween camping this past weekend.
Oh, Halloween camping.
Halloween camping, let me tell you. Does your campground do this?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh.
Specifically have bowls for the kids and bowls for the adults when they're trick-or-treating.
Yep.
Those adult bowls, let me
They're
tell
fun.
you, this past weekend I had a couple Jello shots.
Nips, shots. Love it.
There's a crock pot full of spiked apple cider.
Yeah.
Like, most of the adults would stand back at the end of the campsite, like, let the kids do their thing, and then you hear all of a sudden the people passing it out. They go, I got an adult bowl over here, and we're like, yep, here we go.
So here's my question. How do we normalize that, like, with regular trick-or-treating on actual Halloween? Like, you go door to door. Obviously not the person who's driving, but, like, maybe the other adults in the car would enjoy
A beverage.
a shot of,
Jello shot.
of Fireball or something, just to help us,
I mean, I will admit, it's probably a risky practice.
You're not wrong. I feel like that's probably illegal in some way.
But you're on a private campground.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, private, you know what I mean? So, like, the rules are like...
I have this. I'm not
I don't know.
doing
You're
it
not
today.
taking notes. Just like I was able to have, like, a campfire.
Well,
And
exactly.
for those of you not local, New Hampshire is in a significant drought for this time of year.
Yes.
And they're, like, banned all over the state.
yes.
However, you're in a private campground
Mhm.
and you have a fire ring and you're allowed to. So,
Yes.
that was something.
I love that for
But
you.
yes, don't take spiked apple cider or Jello shots from strangers.
Please don't.
Unless you're Halloween camping.
You're right.
That's really the only time.
I honestly, now that you've put it that way, I'm like, why would I suggest that it's okay to take an open, shot of something from a stranger after we've covered the frickin' Tylenol murders? What's wrong
Oh
with
my
me?
God, and wait till this one. Sure. Yeah,
Oh my God. Okay.
Well,
What's going on?
yes and-
We have a Devonism, by the way. Sorry.
Plug your ears. Yes, we have a Devonism
Woo!
today.
Yes.
Thank you for those that sent this in to Kate, because lately I've just been saying to her, send me a topic. And she sends me one, and I go, bitch, I got this.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's all I need.
Well, there's just no shortage.
So let me tell you right off the bat, this guy. First of all, this guy.
Okay.
I mean,
I know the gist. I only
there's
read the
something
headline.
about him. There's something about him. And it's not his lazy eye.
Oh.
Because I'm married to someone with a lazy eye, and my husband does not give me the creeps.
No.
This guy, you just look at him and it's like, so it's not his eye. It's everything else about him.
Okay.
Okay? I'm
Yeah.
just going to go with that. This guy,
Nothing wrong with lazy eyes in general. It's just this guy.
if I forget to say the word alleged, mostly everything in here is alleged.
Okay, it's all alleged. Innocent until
Mostly.
proven guilty. Let's
Okay.
all honor that.
From what I can tell, he has not been proven
Convicted with anything.
yes,
Okay.
yet.
Sure.
So we're going to go with that. But man, this is a new one.
Oh, shit.
This is something we have not covered yet.
Okay.
And it also makes me like, do we want to share this information with the public? Because, like, if any of you out there are like creeps who are looking for ways to murder people, don't listen to the show, because we've probably given you ideas unintentionally.
So many. I was just going to say, I was like, all of these people
Unintentionally.
are.
But, like, as far as how access to something that's regularly available,
So this is something very.
100%. 100%.
Oh.
Show. We're going to talk about Joshua Hunsucker.
Joshua, what sucker?
Exactly.
Okay.
Hunsucker.
Hunsucker. Okay, Hunsucker.
I'm going to say Hunsucker. You're
Yep.
going to say Hunsucker. So
I'm going to put the
I
wrong
believe Kate is
emphasis
correct, but
on the
based on the
wrong-
research I've had to do over him the last 2 days, I'm calling him a Hunsucker and a
Okay.
fun sucker. All of the other bullshit out there.
We're in the safety hedge. You can say whatever you want.
So this story is based out of North Carolina.
Okay.
It's about a story of Joshua and his wife Stacy.
Okay.
So Joshua was born and raised in North Carolina in Gaston County area. And it starts off really sweet because he married his high school sweetheart. They were together from their early teenage years, from start to end. No breakups in the middle. Just here they go.
Damn.
Growing in through teenagehood and adulthood and living their everlasting love.
That's adorable. Love it.
It appears that Joshua came from a very stable home environment, well-respected family. Stacy, from a very young age, was very involved with her church. She worked as a preschool teacher, and she also did participate in several volunteer organizations. And it's pretty clear, like, from the outside, that they lived a very normal American dream type relationship.
Okay.
Okay, they were married in May 1st of 2010. They had their first child in 2013, and their second daughter was born in 2014. So married, 2 little girls, back to back. However, unfortunately, September 23rd of 2018, Stacy passed away.
Of 18, did you say?
Yes,
Okay.
2018. So we just passed September 23rd, so this is about 7 years ago.
Wow. So, okay.
Yeah. Stacy died in September 23rd, 2018.
Okay.
Now, we're bringing this up now just because we just kind of have to talk about her history. At the time of her death, nothing was very suspicious.
Oh, even her being that young? 'Cause she's young.
For sure.
Okay.
She had a cardiac history, early adulthood. So it made her death sudden and, sad because of how young she was.
Unexpected.
But it was not unalarming.
Okay.
Because of this pre-existing condition.
Oh, how awful. For
Throughout
her
the
kids.
years, she had gone through several cardiac tests, procedures, and she did have a pacemaker.
Oh, okay.
The year her first child was born, which was in 2013, her symptoms really escalated.
Mm-hmm.
Months after delivery of her second daughter, she was hospitalized for bradycardia and hypotension and was in the ICU.
Wow.
So a lot, really stemming again mostly from 2013 to mid 2014 into 15, right around the time she's pregnant with her children.
Interesting.
Because it's escalating.
Mm-hmm.
She also had suffered one point in time a cardiac arrest episode and was on a ventilator.
Oh, so she literally, her heart has stopped stopped before completely. Okay.
So there was never an actual determination as to a formal diagnosis or reason that was having her symptoms. They were just kind of having to treat her symptoms, like the low heart rate, putting in
the
a pacemaker
bradycardia, but they never
that.
figured out the underlying condition.
Correct. So despite having health issues with someone in their mid to late 20s, right? She just was living life to the fullest, in love with her husband, enjoying her life, having her 2 beautiful babies, and still you would just never know that anything was really going on. Joshua worked as a paramedic, and not just a paramedic, but a medevac helicopter paramedic.
Whoa.
Yes, some high stakes shit right there.
Hugely adrenaline seeking. Wow, very cool.
They're seeing the worst of the worst.
Oh, 100%.
So he was able to provide his family with a steady income, and they also were able to purchase their first home together.
Wow.
So despite her health being fragile, she was committed to raising her young family, maintained focus on many meaningful moments, and remained active. Joshua's job did provide for a stable income for their basic necessities. Obviously, we've been in a time where it's hard to be a single income household, right? I mean, even in 2018, it was very hard. But he was able to provide for their home and basic things that the family needed. It does appear that there was a GoFundMe that was started by a family friend to help with some of Stacy's medical expenses. Unconfirmed amounts as to how much that did raise. Was able to find something that it's deactivated now, but I was able to find something where it potentially raised several tens of $1,000s to help cover her medical expenses. That's just how much she was loved, and people wanted to help out this poor family, young mother of 2 having a cardiac condition, and they wanted to help out. But the point of mentioning this GoFundMe is to just give a little bit of hint that though from the outside everything might appear to be perfect, and that this cardiac condition is so tragic, right? But that not everything is behind closed doors is smooth sailing.
So we've not done a paramedic before. We've not done, I don't think, to my knowledge, have we?
Swango.
You're right. He was a physician and a paramedic, technically. But yes, you're right. And a creep. Yep. Creep
we've never
at the
done
very
a medevac
top.
helicopter paramedic.
No, we've never done a med flight guy. Holy shit.
Now, so when Stacy passed away, there wasn't an autopsy. And Joshua was wanting the postmortem plans to be taken care of very quickly.
See this sometimes.
Yes.
The snap.
She was a registered organ donor, but they didn't follow through with that process because, again, her cardiac death.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. So, I remember talking about that.
Yeah. When we've talked about this before with the transplants and stuff, the cardiac death, things have to happen very quickly, right? So they were not in a place to be able to do that. So It was, and so it's rumored that also, what we have right now is that Joshua didn't want an autopsy. He was just like, nope, my wife would be left in peace. She wouldn't want to be taken apart and all of that stuff. He, however, also did not participate in any of the funeral arrangements. Pause. This is why I asked if you'd be able to pay attention.
This is a different text.
No, wait.
The other one was from Anna.
Wait a minute, I'm confused.
This is a different text. The other one was from Anna. The other one was a work text, and this is from my new friend.
Can I see?
I said, can I be honest with you? There's someone in here named Jimmy Snaz, and he and his boys keep bothering me. It gives me anxiety. And she said, what does that have to do with you liking a chicken? Nothing.
Nothing. I just think you're a good friend to talk to.
You're just easy to talk to. Sorry. Go ahead.
Recoup?
I'm good. No, I'm good.
All right. So he wanted the postmortem stuff at the hospital and everything to be done quickly, go over to the cremation society where she was going to be cremated and stuff, and just move the process along. He also did not participate in any of her other funeral arrangements.
Now that's a fucking red flag. This is your wife.
Correct.
Right?
Wife and mother of your 2 children. With the exception of pushing for a quick cremation, he did not want to participate in writing her obituary, didn't want to choose an urn. He was very disassociated from the whole thing and just said to her parents, like, you deal with it.
Okay, that's real weird.
It was also very suspicious from Stacy's parents, who are named Susie and John Robinson. It's also very suspicious to them that there wasn't a lot of signs of mourning,
Oh.
And it's been in the discussion in the news a lot that we're not going to touch, but this is just that everyone mourns differently. Right?
Of course, yeah.
And so that truly is true, So like maybe
agree.
they're so grief stricken that they want to just be stepped away from it, can't deal with any of it.
Absolutely.
But there's other signs of mourning if that's the case. But so during this point in time, he communicated very little with Stacy's family, was just letting them take care of it, and he was just completely away. However, shortly, and by shortly I mean weeks after Stacy's death, Joshua appears to have a new love interest.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, seriously.
Yep. A babysitter for Joshua, who watched his children at the time, really described that Joshua was all over this girl. Like, all he did was talk about her. All he did was want to be with her. All they were was just very flirtatious. She was spending a lot of time at the house. Now, mind you, she just died.
Like a minute ago.
Weeks ago. She's seeing the children who have just lost their mother.
You know what? That is...
And the children are
kids.
like 4 and 5 years old. So they have a lot of questions. So this was like, Stacy's family is just like, what is going on?
Yep.
I don't understand. Alarms are going off. Just in casual conversation of, having conversations that Stacy's family was having with friends, neighbors, that maybe there was a little bit more tension to the relationship that anyone ever really knew.
Maybe. You never know.
There was really a lot of tough conversations had where it was just like, is there something more to this? Like, is there something different?
Right.
They understood that everyone had their own grieving process and own way of coping, but they could not let go of the feeling that something was wrong, and with Josh's behavior and just moving on so quickly. And so they really began to question if there was more to Stacy's death than anyone had realized. So Susie Robinson, again, is Stacy's mother, and she's really the reason, just push things along and had conversations with the local authorities. She just brought forward what information she had at the time. And definitely at this point, there was a huge uphill battle because Stacy's cremated. There was no autopsy and there was no body. So they're just like, how are we supposed to do whatever? However, thankfully, this part, there was only one piece of physical evidence that remained that had a potential of maybe giving information as to her actual cause of death. So there's a state protocol for North Carolina. When a registered organ donor passes away, the medical facility is required to take biological samples.
Okay.
So they had blood vials. So they had some vials of blood. That's all they had.
Okay.
So these had been stored... Where did I write it? These had been stored So they had been stored at the Life Care Donor Center. Mm-hmm. So again, just whether or not they're going to end up donating, if there's a question, you get the blood sample and it's just stored. So they knew it was a long shot, but they were able to get a court order to get the samples and have them tested. So they're like, again, we already have cardiac reason as to her death on the death certificate, but let's just see what these show.
Sure.
Nobody ever suspected what they found.
Oh, God.
So they did run toxicology reports on the blood, and the toxicology report showed high levels of tetrahydrozoline.
What now?
Tetrahydrozoline.
Okay.
Do you know what that is?
Nope.
Yep. This is a chemical compound that is often, or really only found in over-the-counter eye drops, most commonly
Oh.
Visine.
Visine?
Visine.
Okay.
This is where I said, I'm like, I think this is probably the most readily available thing.
I was going to say, that's
ever had.
everywhere. What? Oh, my God.
So Visine is used ophthalmically,
Mhm.
so in your eyes, people, for that are non-medical.
Eyeballs.
So it's eye drops.
Like
it's eye drops
over the
to
counter.
help to reduce redness and help with dry eyes.
Yeah.
So it works by narrowing the blood vessels in your eyes to help reduce the redness and discomfort. It does not take a prescription. You can get it over the counter. So there's a very slim chance, because it goes in ophthalmically through your eyes, that you could get very few traces into your blood vessels.
Okay.
Like, just because you're putting it internally.
Like, you get it.
So to see trace amounts, if this was a medication that was known to be taken regularly, Stacy's blood showed 30 to 40 times higher than what would be considered safe for a human to ingest.
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
Yes.
30 to 40 times.
30 to 40 times what would be safe. So clearly at this point, they were like, okay, so is it even realistic to think that, like, this could be an accidental ingestion?
Right, yeah.
But 30 to 40 times?
Unlikely, right?
Correct.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Visine.
So now questions are like stewing. What the hell is going on? So with the amount that was in Stacy's body, what this compound would be doing to your body, it basically acts as a central nervous depression.
I'm just Googling right now what the hell that would do.
Yeah. So it would cause a low heart rate, dangerously low blood pressure, and reduce your respiratory rate. It can result in loss of consciousness, breathing difficulties, and death.
Wow. Goodness.
So, and I'm not speculating anything. Well, no, I am speculating. But again, everything's alleged. Yeah. However, low blood pressure, low heart rate was also what put Stacy in the ICU during the times of her pregnancy.
It's not necessarily new for her, but she also has a pacemaker. That shouldn't be an issue anymore.
Correct.
Yeah.
Basically, with all of this information, they started really investigating and looking into that Stacy's death was not just untimely of natural causes, but it was likely a death by poisoning. Yes. This really turned the tide. The thing that's so interesting about this, too, is it's not something that is used for intentional harm.
No.
Like, towards another individual. It's like... And most toxicology reports don't even see it during routine autopsies.
I was going to say, is that like a routine thing that they look for? And it's incredible that they looked for it with this blood test.
This only sample that they had. The dangerous thing that's about it is it's so readily available. It's colorless, tasteless, and almost even more so odorless.
Oh my God. Wow. Really?
Yes. It's a clear liquid.
See, this seems so dangerous to me.
Correct. And even when and more so if it's diluted, then it's even more odorless, tasteless. So this makes it extremely easily to be hidden in any food.
I was going to say, that seems way too easy.
Don't take the Jell-O shots while you're Halloween camping.
Yeah, seriously, don't, because there's some crazy people with some fucking Visine out there going playing Russian roulette.
Apple cider pumpkin bourbon thing that I had in a Jell-O shot was amazing. That's all I gotta say.
Delicious. No Visine in that one, though.
Return back around.
Yeah.
So this even more just kind of like validated the questions that were starting to arise in an early investigation, if there was a potential for intended poisoning of Stacy. And that if this type of compound is truly this easily able to be disguised, no wonder why you could potentially get away with it.
Exactly.
He was clearly at the forefront and the central figure of the investigation, not only because of his bizarre behavior, but also because of his medical knowledge as a paramedic and knowing how some compounds work. So this started to pursue, like, what would a motive be? What kind of motive would Joshua have to want to poison his wife? And they instantly started pursuing a financial one.
Oh, wow.
So investigators, as they're starting to discover, they started to pull banking, and insurance documents, and found pretty immediate alarming information. Now, I've never had to file life insurance claims on anyone. However, I would imagine that if I was to have lost my spouse, it's not one of the immediate things on my mind.
No.
Within 7 days. So within a week of Stacy passing, 2 life insurance claims were put out to be paid out by Stacy's life insurance policies that totaled $230,000.
I feel like
She had
that's...
2 separate policies.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it would, like you said.
I mean, I can't imagine that within
place.
and especially since
he's got 2 little kids.
And he's the breadwinner.
Yeah.
So it's not like he didn't work. She,
Right,
like,
yeah.
we need this by Friday to pay the mortgage kind of thing. I mean, so I'm sure I'm sure for some families it is something that is like pressing. Like,
yeah.
we have to do
sure.
this now.
Yeah,
I'm
maybe.
sure. But in this situation, it definitely was like, what?
So a little unusual in that
Yeah.
scenario.
She had a $150,000 policy and an $80,000 policy.
Okay.
So both of these, and usually within a week, like, you're doing the funeral, like, you're doing a lot of all of these other things.
Yeah, you're navigating
you have
your own
2
grief.
little girls.
Yeah.
So it's just like, there's a lot
of things happening.
So initially, the claim was paid out in full. There was no cause for alarm given that the death certificate listed it as natural with her cardiac condition.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't put out an alert, and they paid it all out. They were not put on alert that it was a potential issue until the case was starting to be reclassified as criminal. But at this point, it had already been paid. Further financial review showed that he was in a lot of debt and had very limited savings. But then once he did get paid by the insurance money, he started paying off any of his outstanding debt, purchased new appliances, and home renovations. Was doing stuff to their house.
Okay.
So again, not like stockpiling it on how you can feed your children, but more
taking care of his own.
Let's pay off all my bills, upgrades,
Yep.
and start living a new lifestyle. That gives me
Seems gross.
What are those brothers again?
Burke and Hare.
So as in any investigation, they're talking to pretty much, everybody they know, right? And it kind of comes to find out that Joshua can't keep his story straight. Many things change as far as where he was at the time that he found Stacy. What was she doing at the time? So did she fall asleep laying on the couch? Was he even home? Like, there was a lot of inconsistencies with the story.
Wow. Okay.
To his friends, he stated that she complained of dizziness and weakness earlier in the day. But to anybody else, he never stated, no, she was completely fine. So just very gaps in that. But again, this was very hard to prove due to lack of any physical evidence because we're dealing with this so much later. So it's really hard to narrow down a timeline. Also, they started completing interviews with his coworkers, which anyone would do when you're trying to like figure things out. So one of his coworkers recalled a disturbing conversation during one shift, and it was only a couple months before Stacy passed. They were having a conversation during their shift about unusual poisonings and different ways that people would do self-harm. And this coworker did state that Josh, what made to appear to be a joke, but that he actually made a joke, quote unquote joke, about someone being poisoned with eye drops into their drink.
Specifically with eye drops. Because I feel like this, like I did know that you can get sick from drinking eye drops or ingesting them. Like I knew that.
Yeah.
But I don't know that that's like real common knowledge. Does everyone know that? Or is it just...
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Which just seems...
I mean, it seems common knowledge to...
Maybe common enough, I guess.
Don't take something the way it's not prescribed.
Sure, yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah. So they also said that he had a real strong interest in pharmacology and was well-versed in what various substances would do to your body. So, again, none of these things are alarming. You're a paramedic. You see all sorts of different, things. I mean, right next to us, what's this book called? Poisons.
Poisons, yep.
It's literally called Poisons.
Yep, we have a book. We have a book about poisons.
We don't read it. It's there for looks.
It's all ambiance and decoration.
So again, nothing alarming, but it's all really building up like a lot of circumstantial evidence, right? And they did do a search of the house, which I don't know if you have any here. I don't have any in my house, but they did find a half-empty bottle of eye drops in the kitchen drawer.
Oh, okay.
And that's the thing that was alarming, is it wasn't in a bathroom or a medicine cabinet or a bedroom where one person would be putting it on. It was in the kitchen drawer
So
next to utensils.
it seems like maybe he put it in something and then tucked it away.
Exactly.
Almost.
Just like here,
Oh.
maybe have it by your morning coffee, or you know what I mean? Like if
Ooh,
you were going to mix
okay.
something in what somebody would be drinking.
This
It
is
wasn't where you would normally have like your morning pills or whatever.
my guy. This is not looking good.
So, I mean, there's plenty of reason to have it in the home, right? If someone could, but to
Sure.
anyone's
Just a little unusual.
recollection,
A little unusual.
yeah.
Yeah.
So eventually, and when I say eventually, we're talking 15 months. It took 15 months of all of this information. It took 15 months from the time of her passing to Stacy's mother, Susie, starting to talk to the police and then talking to all these people to make an arrest.
Okay.
I just said to all these peoples.
To all the peoples.
And he was arrested on a first-degree murder
Oh,
charge.
wow. Okay.
So they had enough to do an arrest. So obviously there's concrete things at this point to make it like we're going to go for a first-degree murder here. So
Interesting.
that was December 19th of 2019.
Okay.
However, which is, I mean, and I get that there's this process and whatnot, but he was able to post. Don't ask me how he was able to post this, because I'm like, how? He was released on a $1.5 million bond.
Whoa.
He was able to put that up.
Maybe he
5
had
days later. Merry Christmas
family,
to you. He got out on December 24th. So there was a court order specifically that he wasn't able to use any of Stacy's life insurance money. The family kind of put in some motions to make sure that wasn't touched.
Good.
Because then they wanted to, depending on how this all played out, they wanted to be able to try to file charges and whatnot against the money and things like that for their granddaughters. But along with that, so with this, he also had to give out a disclosure of other financial assets, which there wasn't a ton. Shortly after the initial arrest, with this, they were able to file 2 additional felony charges on top of the first-degree murder. One was for insurance fraud, and one was for obtaining property greater than $100,000 under false pretenses. And this was because of her life insurance policy that was over $130,000. So it was property that was over $100,000.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He had put on the insurance documents within 7 days of her passing that there was no suspicion that there was no suspicious circumstances surrounding the death. So because of that declaration on the application, that's how they're able to get the fraud charges. He's out on bond. This is December 2019, early January of 2020. We all know what 2020 did to a lot of things too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I think that's part of why this has been strung
Gotcha.
out for so long. But during these times, the grandparents, John and Susie Robinson, are trying to get custody for their granddaughters. Right now, they're with Josh's sister, but they're trying to get custody of them. And that just kept getting postponed.
Yes.
So they didn't have custody right away. And so Josh was still very involved with the girls. So he's out on bond. He doesn't have formal custody, but he's seeing them at family's house and all that stuff while he's going to be on trial for murder, first-degree murder. So his defense team, which I can see, and I can even still see now, that they're trying to argue that the case was built on circumstantial evidence.
It's all circumstantial. Yeah, I was going to say, what physical evidence do they have?
That there's a lack of direct physical evidence, and that the amount in Stacy's bloodstream wasn't proof of any wrongdoing exactly by Joshua.
On his part, yeah.
Correct, especially from him. However, there's a giant witness list that's growing for the prosecution. Pretty much anyone that's involved specifically in Josh's life is willing to come forward for the prosecution.
Oh.
So it was just interesting. Yes, it was shocking to them that on his initial arrest, but then because it's saying that it was out of character and whatnot, but then pieces are starting to get put together by other folks.
You know what?
Yes.
This kind of makes sense.
Yes.
That happens a lot, I think.
Yes. So during this time, he was suspended from his job as a paramedic, and his medical license was put on hold.
Wow. Okay.
However, before he was suspended from his job, before he even was arrested, so this is another thing that is completely separate from the murder case, but does kind of play into the murder case a little bit. So before he was even arrested, a month before he was arrested, maybe he was feeling the pressures building of the investigation or whatnot, but he was still working as a paramedic, but an incident occurred at work. So in November of 2019, he was working on a routine flight on the medevac helicopter when a fire broke out on the tail of the helicopter. So they're in the air and there's a fire.
Okay, that's new fear unlocked. Thanks for that. Anyway, continue.
You're welcome. So this was, speculation that maybe he was under a lot of pressure and whatnot, but the pilot during that time did do an emergency landing. Everyone was unharmed. Nobody got hurt. The aircraft sustained a lot of damage.
Oh, God.
but they were able to land safely. So the investigation into that revealed that there was flammable liquid present on board where it shouldn't have been. And that there was also signs of tampering with many of the systems inside the helicopter.
So we're thinking that this was an intentional arson type of situation.
Correct. Security footage did place Joshua at the aircraft outside of a scheduled shift and without any other personnel around.
Okay, that's suspicious.
So investigating on that part, they were able to talk to him, and he was stating that he was performing pre-flight checks and whatnot. But investigation to their aviation protocol showed that another staff member was assigned to that task. And
you were not working.
His presence at the time was never actually accounted for.
Ooh. And you know what? We've run into that a lot. I feel like one of the cardinal signs that some shit is going down is that you're at work when you're not supposed to be at work.
Correct.
That was David Kwiatkowski. That was Charlie Cullen. That was Janine Jones. That was everybody.
Yes.
All of the big ones, I feel like, were always showing up at work off the clock. And it's like, what are you doing? Why are you spending so much fucking time here?
And it turned out, and maybe they found it during, like, after he was arrested and whatnot, because I said, like, he had to disclose a lot of financial statements and whatnot. They were able to find a transaction that was recorded at a local gas station of Josh purchasing an aerosol solution. The chemical makeup of this spray was exactly what matched the helicopter during the investigation.
Sir, this is not looking good.
No. So this possible motive, as they're pursuing this one, is to maybe potentially create a distraction, or he was having an emotional breakdown under the mounting pressure. Was he trying to hurt himself? You know what I mean? As far as, like, why don't I go up in flames, you know?
Right, but so Josh was on the plane.
He was on the plane at the time that this was happening.
Went up. And
along with his crew.
Right, but he was tampering with a aircraft.
Correct.
That was that aircraft supposed to go out with a different crew?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, so we don't know. Either way, somebody else was assigned to pre-flight checks or whatever.
Correct. And that's what he was using as his excuse as to why he was around that particular aircraft. But he was around, they have had footage around, like, I think, like, the day before the flight went out. Does that make sense? Like, so
okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
But he was on the aircraft when it went down.
If he were trying to die by suicide, why endanger the flight crew and an innocent patient?
Correct.
So, you know what I mean? This is some kind of fucking elaborate distraction or something.
Correct. They had an official charge. So this investigation was ongoing while he was charged with the first-degree murder.
Oh, wow.
So he's out on bond for the first-degree murder, and it wasn't until March of 2021 when he was charged with arson and damage to an aircraft with attempt to harm human life. And he was indicted on that. So he was indicted on that charge. So this definitely in the media. So he's obviously in the media a lot for the first degree murder charge, but now this is like what's completely changing, like, public perception. You know what I mean? Just like, how many coincidences can there be around one person?
Right.
And the story just keeps getting bogus from there. Also, at this point in time, I'm also like, why is this guy not in jail?
Well,
like, he put up his bond, and I'm just like, why?
How much nefarious shit does one person have to do in order for people to be like, okay, officially, there's no bond for you. You can't leave now.
So
we don't know what's going on.
February of 2023. Now, we know in 2020, a lot of court things were postponed.
Sure.
Because nobody knew what the fuck was going on with the world then. But he calls authorities. Joshua calls authorities. So this is about 3 years after his arrest, not on trial yet. And he claims that he called authorities, and he claimed that he was the target of an attempted kidnapping and had been taken by potentially unknown individuals.
Wait, he was calling saying, I'm actively being kidnapped, and
no, after he was released.
My mistake.
Come on, follow along.
That would have been ludicrous.
Follow along. So he makes a call to officials that stated that he went outside his home to take out the trash, that he was then approached by a vehicle, and a man got out and threatened him with a weapon and put him in the trunk of the car. He told the authorities that he was in the trunk for a few hours before he was released, before they just let him go.
That all makes perfect sense and checks out completely.
Yeah. And then there also, what makes even more perfect sense, he tells the officials that he has a strong, even though he wasn't sure of who the unknown person was, he had a strong suspicion that the alleged kidnapper was John Robinson, his father-in-law, Stacy's dad. Get it out. Go
I
ahead.
c-
It's fine.
It's not funny because this guy clearly has issues.
He's unraveling.
And is absolutely unraveling.
He's unraveling.
He is falling apart at the fucking seams, and that is unfortunate. Boy, what are you doing? What are you doing?
So the officials are probably like, yeah, this sounds very far-fetched.
Uh-huh.
But we have to look into it.
For fuck's sake.
And of course, John Robinson's getting in the news about this because Joshua has been in the news, like, right? And so it's like, oh, another claim. So-and-so's claiming ex-father-in-law kidnapped him, you know? Like, bullshit.
Mhm.
This was, like, tormenting for John Robinson.
Oh my God, how sad.
So they used neighbor security cameras and GPS information from Josh's phone, and they were able to very easily and quickly determine that there was no sign of any vehicle near the house or any sign of confrontation. Surveillance cameras did show Joshua walking out of the house alone and then returning about 30 minutes later, going into his back door of his house. And the GPS information from his phone showed that he had never left the area. So he was not in the trunk for several hours. Joshua was questioned regarding his false statements to the police and the baseless claims about his father-in-law, and he was unable to provide a coherent explanation. So now they have another investigative case about filing a false report and attempting to obstruct justice.
That's what pisses me off, is that you're like
It just keeps going.
You're just taking resources away from the community at this point to feed your whatever this shit is, you know?
It felt like this was potentially an attempt to try to discredit the Robinsons because at this point there's
That
still
makes
this
sense.
ongoing custody
Yes.
about the two daughters, the two
Yes.
granddaughters. So this felt like this was Josh's attempt to try to discredit them.
That's how it feels.
So there's obviously this giant increase in number of charges that he's facing, but with all of these, it's strengthening the prosecutor's case against them. And this is like the thing that kills me too, and I'm not done, but this is the thing that kills me is like, you and I both agree, without having like any of the court document stuff, all of this sounds very circumstantial.
Right, yeah, it does.
Do you have a link that Josh actually put, say, Visine in her coffee or whatever, and that she drank it, and that's actually how she died?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
This behavior after is not fucking helping him.
No!
Like, what are you doing?
This is making you look really fucking
and it
crazy.
just gets worse. And this is the part that's the worst.
What?
The worst part of all, well, even more worse than him allegedly murdering his wife, is that later in 2023, this was weeks after the conclusion was made up that Josh made up the whole kidnapping story, weeks after Joshua's 10-year-old daughter Piper began experiencing dizziness, excessive fatigue, low blood pressure, and low heart rate.
No.
Did those symptoms sound familiar?
No.
She was experiencing these symptoms while she'd been living with her grandparents under their temporary custody order. They obviously sought medical attention.
What the fuck?
Tests were conducted, and they did do a toxicology due to the nature of the similar symptoms. And guess what they found?
Are you shitting me? This motherfucker put Visine in his kids'...
Well, allegedly. Tetrahydrozoline is what they found in her blood.
You know what? Fuck this guy.
So
allegedly.
Obviously, the 10-year-old daughter did not have a need to be prescribed or to purchase or have anything to do with Visine at the age of 10. A search of Joshua's home showed an unexpired, recently opened bottle of eye drops that was found. The kicker to this was, again, the timing.
Right, because she wasn't living with him.
So Piper had the symptoms, like, just only started within a couple of days, like when she was getting worse. But they started within 24 hours of Joshua having an unsupervised visit at his house with the daughters. So 24 hours.
Let the kids have an unsupervised visit with this man.
With someone who's on fucking parole bond, for first-degree murder.
Potentially a violent... I realize that he is innocent until proven guilty. I realize that. But supervise the fucking visits. This man is clearly unhinged.
Unhinged, for sure. So it's believed that an attempt to poison his daughter was to try and once again shift the focus to blame onto the Robinson family.
Yes.
He's trying to do all sorts of deflection, trying to make it seem like Piper was poisoned while under their care. Now, this is yet again another charge of Joshua's case of attempt to harm a minor and with aggravated assault.
God, that really fucking pisses me off that he did that to his kid. Unbelievable.
An emergency hearing was held. Joshua was had all rights of contact with any contact with his daughters was terminated. Full custody was given to Stacy's parents. Then in mid-2024, so this is going on even more time, he was alleged to be stalking Stacy's parents. Now the girls are with them full-time. They started receiving anonymous envelopes in the mail with recent pictures of their home and personal family photos. One of the envelopes contained a note that said, "I see everything, I'm close."
Okay. That's
Nice.
fucking horrifying. Thanks for that.
They also started receiving unlabeled boxes delivered to their home of children's clothes, toys, and a food container with leftovers labeled "For the Memories." Security footage showed a hooded man matching Josh's figure taking photos and videos of the home late at night. Court order was filed, citing that Joshua was in violation of his restrictions and no contact with the family. There was a motion that was approved, and he was arrested in August 2024 for 4 counts of intimidating a witness and 4 counts of obstruction of justice. Another search of his home showed mailing envelopes, packing supplies, printed photographs, and a laptop with drafted messages directed towards the Robinsons. He denied any attempt to intimidate the family, simply that he was trying to gather his own information and do his own investigation, because everything kept being turned upon him.
Oh, yeah. Everybody.
So I'm trying
Josh
to do
the
my own
victim.
thing.
Yep.
Finally, in August of 2024, he's held without bail.
Fucking finally. How much nefarious shit does one have to accomplish in order to be able to get those rights taken away?
And with everything that I could find, everything has still just been on hold and preparing for trial. The last of it was finally in 2024. There's no more charges being brought because the guy's not out in the community putting Visine in whatever shit he feels like and intimidating people and making up bogus stories. What I could find is that the trial is supposed to be this year, but this year is also almost over with.
Yep.
So what is taking so long?
Hurry it up, guys.
I found one thing that I think was bogus that did say that he was indicted on all charges and has life in prison without parole. I could not confirm that. I was like, why is this nowhere else?
Wait, what? Yeah.
So
okay.
I'm like, I think on whatever I saw, I think it was bogus. Because I
Okay.
was also like, well, it's been long fucking enough.
Yes.
I mean, poor
yes.
Stacy died in 2018. So
Jesus
this is
Christ.
7 years to
Yeah,
indict this
7
man
years,
on
yeah.
first-degree murder.
Mhm.
And part of me thinks it's taken so long because the original case really is not cut and dry.
Was very circumstantial. They're probably.
I think there's a high probability that this guy could have gotten off if he
Oh,
just
yeah, if
fucking
he just-
acted like a normal human being.
Yeah. People who are abnormal human beings rarely have the
Or don't poison
ability.
their wives.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the story of Joshua Hunsucker.
And it is not over. Clearly, we will have more. Hopefully.
Hopefully,
And
because
hopefully they'd actually put him away.
I hope so. I mean, they've got charges of aggravated assault on his daughter, first-degree murder. They have arson. They have obstruction of justice. They have fraud,
I truly cannot
intimidating
believe
a
he did that.
witness.
He did any of that. He could have killed a pilot and flight crew and an innocent
Have you
patient.
seen his picture?
I
He's
only
a
saw it
fucking
on the
creep.
really.
He's a fucking
Oh,
creep.
shit! I gotta look at him.
He's a creep.
Okay.
You know how you say people look like a foot?
Oh yeah.
He looks like a toe.
Not even a whole foot.
No, just a toe.
Wow. Okay. Joshua Hunsucker. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yep. Yep.
See the toe?
I see it.
He looks like a toe.
An actual toe, though. Fuck this guy.
Thank you for listening, everyone. You can continue to check us out on Facebook by searching Medcrimes Podcast.
You can find us on YouTube by searching Medcrimes Podcast.
At Medcrimes Podcast.
If you wish to become a Patreon, you can find us at www.patreon.com/medcrimespodcast, baby.
Send us your crazy stories, suggestions, anything you want us to talk about, because all of this is helping when it's time to do a Devonism. And I just say,
Yep.
send me an idea.
Send them in, baby.
You can also be a part of Break Room Banter, which
Yep.
will be coming next month.
Like, really soon.
Like next month, people.
Yes.
We go on break in what, 6 weeks?
Yep.
It could be less. I'm just estimating.
We're getting all sorts of great.
Come on.
As I'll call them.
Let's do it.
It's a beautiful thing. Medcrimes@gmail.com.
I was about to say that.
I'm sorry. I just took it right out of you.
You know what I'm going to take out of you?
What?
Be safe out there.
Oh, I'll do the bye problem.
That.